Hi everyone. Hope you're doing well, staying safe and adapting to our new crazy lifestyle. Just wanted to go over a few items from last week. Um, I will apologize. I don't feel all that great and have got myself quarantined in my house for the most part. Um, so last week we did the history and evolution of human resources. Kind of how human resources went from the days where they were just really focused on, oh, you want to get a job here, come to this office, and then becoming the personnel department, and then eventually becoming human resources as a, kind of a fully diverse function of supporting employees from, the application process all the way through wellness and health benefits and all the types of things that you need as an employee somewhere. So we talked about that a little bit last week, and we had our quiz, and we had a few other things last week as well. So I look forward to looking at those this week. I should have some time because most of us are now stuck in the house for the foreseeable future. Next week, or this week, we're going to talk about a little bit further about what types of competencies are needed in human resource managers, and then some best practices about human resource management in healthcare. Our world, the healthcare world, is a little bit different. Like, this is a good example right now where lots of folks are being able to work from home, lots of folks are transitioning to a virtual environment, yet we need to find a way to keep our employees safe while still working in a highly volatile and potentially contagion-filled environment. So it's important that we are looking at those types of things. Human resources in healthcare is very different than it is in other industries. So we have a discussion, written assignment, quiz this week. Our discussion is really about, why is that one-on-one relationship between the manager and employee important? And I think that, obviously we'll explore that throughout the discussion process, but think about, maybe even think about it as in right now, like why it's important for not only the manager to have a good relationship with their team, because we really do work as a team, but why that one-on-one relationship is important between managers and employees in the healthcare world. And then we have a discussion about managers and the work of employees that do a good job. So that's our assignment for the week, and then we have our quiz as well. So I did want to go over a couple of the quiz questions from last week. Get this open here. So first question, employee assistance program referral should be handled by someone external to the organization for the sake of employee confidentiality. So that's not necessarily, obviously the answer is false, but we need to be able to have, as employees, we need to have a certain amount of confidentiality, obviously. But as managers, we also are in the position where we are seeing folks that we may think should have a referral to EAP. So for example, maybe a hospital right now is a good example. So in the hospital, we have staff that are showing signs of stress, that are showing signs of fear, lashing out at fellow employees, whatnot, because it's a scary time right now to work in a healthcare organization. So those are the types of folks. And EAP is not just about dealing with mental health issues. It's about dealing with life. So folks at EAP can help you to deal with stress, to provide better coping mechanisms, to help you through difficult situations. Financial issues right now are going to be a major thing for many employees because maybe hours are being cut. Not necessarily in the hospital. I think hospitals are going to be plenty busy, but physician practices, for example, you might see physicians that would normally be just doing, well care and those types of things. Some of those services are going to be cut back, and employees may have to transfer from a physician practice environment to like urgent care, working in the hospital to help take care of more patients. So coping with those changes in life is something that EAP can help us to do. So although the EAP process itself is typically separate from an organization. They'll typically hire a company to manage their EAP. Referrals are typically going to come from internally, either from the employee themselves, which sometimes they'll reach out and do that, or from managers, from colleagues, etc. Is that those are all ways that we can refer someone to EAP. Next question. The sole external concern for a personnel department is the equal employment opportunity. So that's obviously not true. There are many laws that we need to deal with from a HR perspective. Equal opportunity employer, EEO, equal employment opportunity, is just one of those things. But we have to be concerned about wage and hour laws, different labor laws, the ADA. There are many external concerns, state laws, many external concerns that impact the personnel department. And right now, again, we have lots of great case study examples for our studies right now. The push to offer sick time in areas where folks didn't have sick time. So part-time employees or maybe new full-time employees that are now having to step away from their jobs because of infection with this or because of quarantine. We're seeing, a push federally to provide sick time for those folks. So those type of external influences are a major concern for human resources. Not that equal employment opportunity is not. That is one of their major concerns, but there are many. Next one, why did the employment office gradually evolve into human resources? So lots of answers here. Our correct one was elements of work related to employment and employees grew in number and complexity over the years. So initially it used to be fairly simple. You would have a personnel department that maybe managed the process of applications or those types of things. Now you see human resources. For example, when you apply for a job, most places now, you typically have to interview with human resources. So they're the gatekeeper. You interview with human resources before you can even move on to another level. 25 years ago, that was not the case. The hiring manager would always be the one doing even initial interviews. But that process is only one part of all of the massive expansion across all of the things that human resources does, from labor relations to benefits to payroll to dealing with employee wellness and safety and so many things that human resources has done. So it's become much more complex over the years, and even just managing the external environment is complex. So human resources became kind of the central location to manage the human capital of your organization. So that's all I've got. Let's pop back to the classroom quick. So hopefully everyone is staying safe, making sure that you're practicing good hygiene practices, washing your hands, not touching your face, all of those kinds of things. And certainly if you haven't been, kind of staying home and hanging out, outside of any work, if you may have to go to work, obviously you don't have much control over that, but it sounds like now at least in Allegheny County, they're shutting down restaurants and gathering places overall. So most of us are going to end up being stuck at home, but please be safe and take care of each other. And if you do end up, with an illness or something like that, and you do need to step away from the classroom for a little bit, just please let me know. Try and keep me in the loop, and I'll certainly do for you anything that I can. This is a difficult situation. I think we're actually kind of lucky from a higher ed perspective in that we were already virtual. So that's kind of the easy part. But it's the human elements of all this that are not the easy part. So you need some help with something, please reach out. And otherwise, I will look forward to talking with everyone in the classroom this week. Thanks.